Alright, dick butts, let's get into it. Got three for you this time. I was pretty happy with my stage plan and this one, except that I did end up walking by a target that I should have shot from my leftward position here. I'm using a PCC I don't normally use, and you'll see me that come back to bite me in the butt here in a little bit.
Target to the right.
Yeah, I forgot about it. On this stage, I chose to use the gun that I'm not really actually zeroed at this range for, and that came back to bite me. This is part of why I always emphasized anyone to do what I say and not what I do. Only use guns in competition that you have actually zeroed at a decent range and you know where your impacts are. Otherwise, I would encourage everyone to literally just fast forward through the rest of this stage, because it's just me struggling to get hits at distance.
How'd your rifle feel? Feels good. Rifle felt fine.
Yep, I'm gonna have to hold right.
Just hitting fucking wood down there.
Have to do a reload down there. That's gonna
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah. Hit.
That's a hit.
The actual long-range stage here, I did pretty well like I normally do. At this point, I'd actually switched over to a regular AR-15 that had a good zero, and that was reflected in my ability to get hits. So it kind of speaks for itself. Otherwise, there's not much to see here. Go ahead and fast forward.
Hit.
Left side center miss. Right side center miss. Left side center miss. No, that's
That's two. That's
Yep.
two. Yeah, they're side by side.
I can't see it in this thing. Really?
Hit. Hit.
I'll let y'all call it.
Hit. 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 Hit.
Alright, on this stage, you'll see me have malfunctions with the PCC. I was aware that this thing's not 100% reliable, and I was using it anyway. This goes to my advice that you really only bring guns that actually work for you. I also ended up walking by one target on this stage because I think mentally I was just kind of thrown off by, starting to have malfunctions.
Come out of there.
Left paper. Left paper. The black.
The shooting with the sheriff match was pretty cool. Each stage was a different challenge. This first one was a drill with targets randomly popping up over a period of fixed time. Every target you hit was time off, and I cleaned them all. The match itself was really fun. There's one stage I didn't film, but otherwise each stage was a different and unique challenge, and I actually had a great time. Stage 2 here was a pretty bog standard USPSA stage. Yeah, anything else to say? Stage 3 here was a really short stage where you just had to draw and get one hit at, I think it was like 55, 45, 25 yards or something like that. Did that really quickly, and then this next stage here is just a pretty bog standard Steel Challenge course. So if you've never done Steel Challenge, this is one of the stages that you can shoot there, and a lot of them are scored like this with all your strings of fire happening back to back, and then they add them all together for you to get your final stage done.
That's how you shoot right there. I like it. Is the shot ready? Marlon, stand by. Shift 478, 478.
Going to 5.
Shooter ready? Stand by. Oh, 473, 473.
Final one I recorded for the Sheriff match is an IDPA stage. The one thing I would have done differently is that in this particular stage they weren't incorporating the IDPA rule where you couldn't reload preemptively. You can't drop a loaded magazine in IDPA, so doing it again I would have preemptively reloaded before my second target array, but that's a minor change. So I only have 2 stages for this Shoot GTR match. The match was actually called off because someone had a medical emergency. I believe they had a cardiac event or perhaps a seizure. I'm not exactly sure in the details, which canceled the rest of the match when it happened, of course. So one thing I want to talk about here is that as you shoot these things, make sure you take care of yourself physically. Sometimes just being out in the elements is honestly the most dangerous part of competitive shooting activities. Otherwise, this particular stage was just kind of fun. You had to activate a rifle target with your pistol, transition to rifle. This last stage I recorded for the 2-gun match was a fun Star Wars themed stage where you had to avoid shooting your Stormtrooper buddies in the first part here, and then transition to a second part with your handgun on an unstable platform where you were shooting a ton of Ewoks and one Baby Yoda bonus target. Just a fun themed stage, which I enjoy lighthearted stages like that, so good times. Closing tips here as we wrap up. Of course, take care of yourself physically, drink water and fluids throughout the day. Make sure you kind of monitor your own health. If you start feeling faint or anything, take actions to correct that. Of course, I always say this, but actually zero your guns. That did come back and bite me on some stages. And actually make sure you bring guns that are working. If you actually care about the results of the match or you're trying to do better or anything like that, it's easy to throw yourself off. A malfunction doesn't just affect you for the time it takes to clear the malfunction, it can also throw you off mentally, so, make sure your equipment is in good working order. All right, we're done.